for. I'm like, you use that clip, seriously? Hello y'all, welcome back. Okay, so today I have no brows. These are my natural brows, y'all. They some baby brows. I am a child of the 90s, and so, you know, the cool thing when I was in high school was to like over tweeze your brows and have these thin little things. So today I'm gonna show you how I draw on and fill in my brows to make them look really like kind of that like flawless, like really blended look. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how I do a little bit of my quicker eyebrows. If I'm really going like all out, going to like an event, a wedding, something like that, then I probably will use my pomade and my powder. But when I'm trying to do it a little bit quicker, I actually like to use a couple different colors of my Farmasi eyebrow pencils. So I use, let's see, where is it at? I use 02. And then I also use 01, okay? 02, I will use like mid part all the way to the tail. And then for the front of the brow, I like to use the lighter one, so that way it's a little bit airier looking towards the front of the brow, because I feel like when you look at someone's natural brows, the front of their brow is typically a little bit lighter, like there's not as much hair in there. So that's kind of why I do that. And then I like to go over it and set it with my brow powder. You don't have to do that, but I just like to do that because I feel like it needs filling in certain areas, just because obviously like I have these little tiny brows, and so like the areas that I draw in and kind of like add where I don't have hair, I feel like the pencil doesn't grab on as well. That's why I top it with the powder, okay? Another question that I get asked a lot with these pencils, a lot of people are unsure if you're supposed to just sharpen them like a normal pencil, and I was actually unsure when I first got them too. I was like, do you just sharpen this? Or I didn't want to like destroy it. Because for some reason, I don't know why, you guys, but the bottom of these pencils, they twist. But I mean, it doesn't do anything, okay? The twisting doesn't do anything. You're supposed to sharpen it like a normal pencil. The twisting, it has no purpose. This is my makeup pencil sharpener. Yes, it has blue painter's tape on it. I'm classy like that, you guys. So you just sharpen this like a normal pencil. You want to be careful. I try not to like push it all the way in like really hard, because the pencil part of it is actually more of like a gel-like consistency, so it's very soft. So then I like to sharpen it so that you get a nice point to it, okay? That way you get a nice precise line. Before I start drawing on with my pencil, I like to take this brush right here. This is from Farmasi as well. It's got a spoolie on this end, and then it has a flat angled side right here. So you can see that side is flat, okay? Just like that. And this is actually the end that I use to put the brow powder on over the pencil once I get that on there. But I like to use the spoolie side. I use the spoolie side to like soften areas of the pencil and kind of brush over it to make it look really blended. But before I start, I always like to brush my eyebrows. We don't need no crazy brows. It can literally make you look like you got a facelift when you actually like give yourself some brows. Like if you have nothing, like you can't really see your brows, I always recommend to people to just get the brow powder. Just get whatever brow powder complements your hair color best, and start with that, because it's super easy. Just use like a flat angled brush, put it on there, and just kind of lightly go over it, and then you can just brush over it with your spoolie, and it looks really, really natural. So I take this is the number 02, okay? And then I start right here. So general rule of thumb, if you have like little brows and you're trying to like make them more proportionate and you're trying to like add to, general rule of thumb is you're supposed to go up from your nose here. So if you come right here and you just put a little dot right there, technically that's where your brow should start, okay? Obviously mine does not, starts way back here. And then the high point of your brow should actually be, so it's actually coming out from your nose, and it goes across the pupil of your eye, and you want to follow that line, and that's where the highest part of your brow should be. And then the tail, you take it from the corner of your nose, corner of your eye, and then you rock it right there. And then that is technically where your brow should end. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully I'll get close here. See the dots right there, there, and there. So there is your connecting the dots type thing. So then I take this and I follow the underneath of my brow. So that's the bottommost part of my brow that I'm connecting there, okay? Sorry, I'll try to hold my head up a little bit more. So connecting the dot with the bottom part of my brow, going up, filling in just this little area right here where I'm very sparse. Get up to that highest arc there, and then I want to bring it down to this dot over here, okay? Okay, so there's the bottom line of my brow. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going with this brow because I want to finish this brow before I do this one so you guys can see the difference, okay? So then for the top, I basically follow that same line and I just follow it all the way to the point, okay? But I start a little bit in front of my brow here, but I don't take it as far as I do the bottom, okay? I start a little bit farther back and I just follow the shape of my brow with it. Again, this is going to be kind of a learned thing. You're gonna have to practice and do it a few times because I have went through some stages with my brows, y'all. So there's the outline of it, okay? Obviously, like, it still needs filled in and everything, but there is the outline of it. Okay, so now I still take this pencil, okay? And I just lightly go over the parts that have hair on it, because obviously not all of it does. So, and see what I mean by that top line? I don't bring it all the way to meet this, because if I did, it would be like out here. And I like to kind of feather that area right there. And so I am holding this very, very light, and I'm barely pushing it on my skin, okay? So there's that. And then I switch to my 01, the lighter color. I go up front here, and again, very, very lightly that you're pressing. I'm like very picky about the front of my brows, you guys. I don't like them to look very harsh. So for the front area here, I like, just because it's a little bit dark on that line still, so I take my spoolie and just very, very lightly go over that. And the spoolie is going to kind of help soften all of that. And then I will go in with my brow powder before I like brush over the whole thing with my spoolie. This is the 02 light brown. The bottom of it looks like so nasty because I've had it for so long. It's just been in my makeup area. The 02 light brown. So when I do this, I just very lightly dab this in here. Sorry, so I'm not even really swiping the product on there. I'm like dabbing it on there, okay? A little goes a long way. Okay, so I start right here where there is like hair on the brow. I don't start in the part where like I like filled in with my pencil. And then like I said up here where I drew in that arch where there's not a lot of hair, I like to make sure I set that really good. I know it looks dark right now. And then I just very, very lightly work it onto the front of my brow, okay? So then I will very, very lightly, because if you do this too hard with the spoolie, you will wipe areas off, okay? So be very, very gentle with the spoolie. Does anyone else do their brows like this? Drop some comments if anyone else does like a pencil and powder. I'm always interested to see how people do their brows because I feel like there are so many different ways to do your brows. So this is just my way of how I like to do them. And I know there are lots of different ways to do brows. And that is my finished product. I don't have any eyeshadow on just because I wanted to show you just like the clear difference of what it looks like here. So it's just like, to me, I feel like it instantly like brings up your face. Like, just like, So I'm gonna do this other side here. I'll show it to you and I won't do the dots. I'll just show you how I draw it on there, but I'll have Joe speed it up slightly. So there's that. Like I said, I didn't do the dots for that one because I'm pretty used to doing my brows by now. Okay, so this is the number 01. This is the lighter one, okay? Going back in with that and going in this front area. So diffusing that front line. I have to point this out too because I feel like people get really frustrated if they can't get their brows to match. Your brows are gonna be more like sisters rather than twins. That was one thing that was told to me in cosmetology school that I was like, oh, light bulb. Because if you think about it, you divide your face in half. It's like you divide your whole body in half. There's one side that's different than the other, right? Like no two parts are the same. But that goes for like eyes. I noticed one of my eyes like sits lower than the other. Lips, I feel like this side is smaller than the other, so I'm always constantly trying to like overline one side more than the other. And so it'll drive you crazy, but don't let it, because just think about it. Your brows are meant to be more like sisters than twins, okay? So just get them as close as possible, and then you just work with it. Okay, going in with the brow powder again, same thing, the light brown. And I start actually right where like the hair starts, right there. And I feel like that just kind of helps diffuse the line between where there's hair and no hair. And then I'm just going over and brushing it out a little bit with the spoolie. Again, very, very light-handed. Okay, so that way it's like the front of the brow is very, very airy, and there's no like start point. There's a stop point. Been staying up till like 4 and 5 in the morning. I work like second, third shift. Anyways, okay, so there are the brows, you guys. I'll get a kind of an up-close shot here. Again, this might be more dramatic than what you are looking for, but you can always tame it down. You don't have to go as far out with the tail of it. You don't have to go as far in. You don't have to do as like dramatic of like an arch, anything like that. Tailor it to you and do what you're comfortable with, but just make sure you have good products that you're using. I will drop the link for my Farmasi site below. If you have any questions, definitely like reach out to me. Probably best way to get a hold of me is through Facebook Messenger. I'm probably gonna be most responsive there. So if you have questions, just let me know. Otherwise, I hope this helped you, and I hope, I wanna see some brows. Send me some pics. If you learned something, let me know, drop some comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye!